Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad ISC500 and my ID number is 2021119383. Okay, and now let's go to the introduction. Enterprise today focus more on their core competence and they rely more on their suppliers with outsourcing activities in the supply chain. The supply chain management has become a key feature to promote efficient management and development and important supplier competitive advantage. Obviously, quality suppliers directly affect the company's product and long-term supplier capabilities affect the competitiveness of companies. Big companies really require a supplier with a high performance and efficient contribution to its overall value supply chain. The larger number of SMEs and their essential role in supply chain, the literature around SME and supply chain management practice within them is still small and dispersed, especially qualitative case based on the research. And now, let's go to the definition of the supply chain and the supply chain management. Literally, supply chain is the formation of a value chain network consists of individual functional entities committed to providing resources and information to achieve the objective of efficient supplier management as well as the division flow. Okay, the supply chain can also be termed demand chain to reflect the fact that the chain should be driven by the market, not by the supplier. The concept of value chains, each activity in their value chain and evaluate whether or not they have real competitive advantage in these activities. If they do not, then perhaps they should consider outsourcing the activity to a partner in the supply chain who can provide the cost and value advantage. Okay, next, the Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals define that the supply chain management encompasses the planning and management of all activities involved in sourcing and procurement, conversion, and all logistic management activity, as well as coordination and collaboration with channel partner. Supply chain management includes a set of approaches and practice to efficiently integrate supplier, manufacturer, distributor, and customers for improving the long-term performance of the individual enterprise and the supply chain as a whole in cohesive and high-performing business model. Okay, next we go to the infographic. Okay, to know what is actually the supply chain. Okay, as you see the graphic, how to supply chain. Okay, the orange among us will be the supplier, and the blue will be the producer, and the red is customer. This is the flow with step by step. The first step is the supplier. Players joins in a group of 10 players to get supply. This means the orange among us supply the stuff to the producer. Okay, and then the producer says, if you are the imposter, you need to buy some stuff. Okay, this means the producer works as a seller to the customer. Okay, they sell their stuff to the customer. And then the customer say, we discuss who is the imposter and we will buy some stuff. Okay, this means this is the flow of the supply chain, which is start from the supplier and go to the producer and lastly go to the customer. Okay, as you can see, the arrow below them is the primary cash flow, which means the customer pay the cash to the producer and the producer pay the cash to the supplier. The cash flow. Okay. That's all from me. I hope you all can get it, and what is literally the definition of the supply chain and the supply chain management. Okay, thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Nik Muhammad Abduh bin Zul Nabli. My metric number 2021-101541. So I will continue with 3.0, which is the objective and the importance of supply chain management. Alright, 3.1, the objective of supply chain management.
The supply chain has a main objective, which is to maximize the overall value that will be produced. The value or surplus of the supply chain is the difference between the value of final product to the customer and the cost generated by supply chain to meet customer demand. The value of the final product may vary for each customer. Accordingly, an estimate of the maximum amount a customer is willing to pay is predictable. So, it is very important to maximize the overall value that will be produced. It is to increase the profit and avoid the waste. Alright, number 2, efficiency improvement, which refers to waste or surplus management. These include wasted materials, surplus or wasted money, wasted working hours, wasted delivery time, and more. Ensuring that surplus or waste are kept in a minimum is one of the most important keys in ensuring supply chain management. How this process is carried out is through effective production management, good inventory, efficient transportation and logistics. And the last one is supply chain management aims to find opportunities to change procedures to reduce waste. Alright, number 3 is to involve objective in improving quality. Surplus management is not the main purpose of supply chain management. It is also very important in ensuring the production of product and user experience from customer get a good and positive response. By taking into account all the feedback given by the customer or users, the company will be able to find out any shortcomings and weakness in their product. The last one is number 4, to improve and maintain the stability of the supply chain. Supply chain management also aim to improve and maintain the stability of the supply chain as a whole. To keep the business running smoothly, a company can aim to establish and maintain strong relationship with its suppliers and distributors. Other aspect of stability, particular risk management, must be considered. Business can take steps to reduce the risk associated with the part of supply chain by monitoring the potential risk associated with the part of the supply chain.
Next, we move to 3.2, the importance of supply chain management.
Alright, number 1 is ensuring customer and consumer satisfaction. This will be elaborated through the perspective of good service improvement. Customer and consumer will expect the collection of product and quantities ordered to be delivered accurately and deliveries made at the right location. Not only is focused on the goods sold, but businesses that involve service are also subject to customer satisfaction. In addition, after sales support is one of the aspects that also customers focus on. Alright, number 2 is reducing operating costs. Retailers are indeed heavily dependent on an intact supply chain in ensuring that expensive products can be delivered quickly. This is because they avoid to keep expensive inventory in their store for longer than the due period. For example, electronic store require fast delivery of 60-inch flat panel plasma HD TV to avoid high inventory costs. This has indirectly lowered the cost of purchase. In addition, manufacturers also rely heavily on good supply chain management in ensuring adequate supply of materials to be delivered to assembly plant. This is because insufficiency or delay in delivery of spare part or the installation accessories will cause the production process to stop. Alright, the last one, number 3, to improve the financial position. Supply chain management by the company acts as a control and cost reduction for the supply chain. The profit of a company can go up very dramatically with good supply chain management practices. In addition, the financial position can be further maximized by lowering fixed assets. The reduction in the use of large fixed assets such as plant, warehouse and transport vehicles will be able to reduce the disbursement of funds to meet all the needs of the facility.
Right, now we move to 4.0, which is supply chain management strategies.
Right.
The first step is develop a product. When deciding what products to produce and offer to customers, top management must be skilled at determining the strategic direction. As the product cycle matures or product sale decline, management must take strategy decisions about whether to develop and market new existing products, rationalize current product offerings, or develop a variety of new products and services. The following step is to engage the customer. A customer should identify customers for its product and service at the strategic level. When a company management makes strategic decisions about which product to manufacture, they must identify key customer segment to which marketing and advertising will be aimed. Company management must make strategic decision about how the product will be manufactured based on high-level forecast estimates and sale. The decision must necessitate the construction of new manufacturing facilities or the expansion of existing one. The last is supplier. Supplier-related strategic supply chain policies must be decided by company management. Reduced purchasing expenses for a company can be directly related to increased profits, and there are a number of strategic decisions that can be made to achieve this result. However, this decision must be consistent with the company overall goals. If the company has implemented a quality policy, then strategic decision regarding suppliers will be consistent with the company overall goals.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Tengku Ahmad Takyuddin bin Tengku Kaha. My ID, my metric number is 2021-100-481. So, I am going to explain the first part of this presentation, which is to define the SME. What is the SME? Small Medium Enterprise. So the definition of SME is different between countries and also depends on the sector they are doing business. For example, European Union, they divide they categorize SME into two sectors. First is companies and second is small enterprise. So for the companies, they define as their employees must then 250 employees, and then their annual turnover not exceeding 50 million euro. While a small enterprise, their employees must less than 50, and then their annual turnover must not exceeding 10 million euro. And then the second one, in Malaysia, Malaysia also divide the SME into two parts. First part is manufacturing, categorized as manufacturing, and second category is services. Okay, so the manufacturer, their employees must less than 200 employees, and their annual turnover must not exceeding 50 million ringgit. While service, their employees must less than 75 employees, and their annual turnover not exceeding 20 million. So every countries have their own definition about to their own the definition of their own, what we call that, SME definition. Okay, that's all. So next in this slide, I'm going to explain the important role of SME. Actually, SME play a very important role in the particular countries. So I list down 4 important role of SME. Actually, there are lots more the role for SME. Number 1 is the economic growth, ensuring balanced growth and becoming a high value added and high income company. Second one is poverty alleviation. Poverty and employment rates will decrease as employment opportunities increase. So SME offer a lot employment opportunities in the countries. Second one is the employment. It provides a very wide range of employment opportunity, especially to the low income and the rural population. And the last one is SME is engine of economy. They are an essential source of job, create entrepreneurial spirit and innovation. That's all those are the role of the SME, and it's very important for every country. That's all.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Iqmaluddin Ibrahim. My metric number is 2021101805. So today I will be continuing to talk about the relationship between SCM and SMEs. So it shows that survival and growth of SMEs may depend on how SMEs effectively allocate their resources and their strategic focus, and also how they secure better negotiation through term improvement and their change relation position. So based on the statement above, how they practices SCM, it would affect the SME's performance and characteristics. So we will highlight two variables, which is in terms of strategic focus and supply chain relation position, where we will be discuss about four types of SMEs characteristics that can be identified. So a little bit explanation about the graph for the variable for the below one, which is the strategic focus. You can see there are two, which is the low cost and the value added. So what is mean? The high value added SME are able to create a larger value potential with their product and services, but low value added SMEs have relatively less capability to create a value potential within their product or services. So from that, we go for the first characteristic, which is the efficiency SME. So basically, efficiency SME usually accept cost reduction targets set by their customer and try to convert to their customer demand, which means that their negotiation power within their customer is really weak, that they will be most likely to focusing on fulfill their customer demands either than improving their product to a better potential. For the second one, it is coordination SME. As you can see, even though it has low strategic focus, but they have slightly stronger supply chain position, which means that they have fairly substantial negotiation power with their customer. How does this happen? When you have good SCM, it means that you can adjust your cost production to be more profitable but still reasonable before selling it to the customer. So for the next type of SME, which is the collaboration SME, means that even if their negotiation position is not strong, but they have internal competency in relation to value creation capabilities that allow them to stay in the business as a viable member. This means that their product have potential in the market, but without a strong supply chain relation, their negotiation power is still weak. But again, they can still be considered as a competitors in the market. And lastly, the innovation SME, they, as you can see, have added value, strategic focus and strong supply chain relation. This means that they are staying in the business as a dominant members. This is because they have strong negotiation power with the customer, and they have high value creation capabilities that allow them to do so. Hence, based on these four characteristics, we could see that how important it is for the SMEs to carefully allocate their potential in the market according to their cost and their negotiation power, so that their business can keep running and have potential in the market. So supply chain management is one of the business strategy that increasingly being used in the business nowadays. So theoretically, where does SCM could affect in the real business? I could explain in three different categories, which is it could affect in supplier relationship activities, in customer relationship, and in information sharing. Firstly, in the supplier relationship activity, it means that your relation with the supplier is in terms of a long period of time, which means that both of you are willing to sharing risk and reward to maintain the relationship on the longer term basis. So when you have good supplier relationship, so your productivity will be more appropriate, more quality, and have the exact quantity to be given to the customer, so that you could possibly create a better customer relationship and could change the customer to a close customer or key customer. Next, in customer relationship practices, when you have a good relationship with your customers, means that you could venture yourself in a new sector, which is your organization market strategy can increase in sale and profitability because you have key customer, and with this key customer, it's allow your product to be differentiated from the competitors, and it's help sustain customer satisfaction and loyalty, and it's also evaluate your value provide to the customer. Lastly, in term of information sharing, so what is that? It is the private data between business partner. Thus, when you have good information sharing with your business partner, it's enable your organization to making a better decision, and also could improve your business potential. So in a conclusion, in a view of our analysis regarding SCM conceptually framework based on the secondary data and research paper, supply chain includes activities such as material sourcing, production scheduling, and the physical distribution system that's supported by the necessary information flow. So all of these components are really important in the businesses, especially for the SMEs, so that it can help them in identify the suitable solution in their cost and profits breakdown. Thus, could also be a determinant key of a potential growth in the SMEs. So that's all from us. Thank you.